Hello, I'm on task 25.2. I hope you have watched the complete video on monohybrid cross and visualizing how the cross pollination and self pollination was done by Mendel through this video. I hope was useful for you to make a sense of what actually Mendel was doing when he was conducting this experiment. In this task, I will be just discussing one worked example with you so that you can apply the same step-by-step approach to answer any monohybrid cross-related question. So, our opening screen has a picture of Gregor Johann Mendel, and here we begin. So, when we say monohybrid inheritance or monohybrid cross, the word mono itself tells that we are studying about how a single gene or alleles of a single gene are being inherited from parents to offspring. So instead of thinking about the whole chromosome, we start learning about inheritance by just studying how one gene is inherited. But remember, practically the whole chromosomes sets are getting inherited. So that is a very complex process to understand. So we'll start with a single pair of alleles. So a single pair of alleles in written format is always represented as capital and small letter of the same letter, because the letter represents the position of the gene, and whether it is capital or small shows whether the gene is in its dominant or recessive allelic form. So only one allele from each parent's gamete will actually go into the offspring's zygote. Now the question is why? Why do we always separate the alleles while we are writing the genotype of the gametes of the parents? The reason is meiosis. In meiosis 1, the homologous pairs separate and go into two different daughter cells. So if homologous pairs are separating, means the alleles are getting separated. So ultimately the four gametes that will be formed from one parent cell will have the different the copies of the two different alleles. So we basically call that the segregation of alleles. Now let's see how to approach genetic cross questions step by step. So let's say that there are two pure breeding pea plants Mendel has selected, and the dominant pea plant is green in color. That means here he has taken seed color. So the dominant seed color is green and the recessive seed color is yellow, represented by capital G and small g. So once we decide what characteristics, so here the trait or the single characteristic inheritance that we are studying is color of the seeds. So let's take the parent's phenotype. We already know that one parent has green seed and the other has yellow seeds, and they are pure, so that means they must be homozygous. So now let's talk about the parent's genotype. So we know that we are representing the green color parent with the letter capital G, and they are pure. So the genotype would be capital G, capital G. Crossed means fertilized or is going to fertilize the yellow parent whose genotype is small g, small g. Meiosis happens. Remember, meiosis is not a part of the reproduction. Meiosis is that step which helps in the parents to have their own gametes. Okay, so now this capital G parent will produce two different types of gametes, and small g will produce two different types of gametes. But since they are homozygous, that means both their alleles are same, so all of their gametes genotype would be same. That means this parent will only produce capital G type of gamete, and this parent will produce only small g type of gametes. Now if these gametes randomly fertilize, what would be the genotype of the offsprings in the F1 generation? You're going to construct a Punnett square, write the male gametes in the row and female in the column, or vice versa, whatever. But make sure that you are writing the correct letter for the gamete, and then fill the boxes by matching the row and the column. You will notice that all the genotypes, that means 100% possibility is that all the offsprings obtained from these two parents will be a heterozygous plant. And looking at the genotype, can you tell what the phenotype is going to be? Yes, their phenotype will be green because they possess one dominant allele. So we will say 100% offsprings genotype would be capital G small g, and offsprings phenotype would be 100% green. Now since it is monohybrid inheritance that we are studying, Mendel didn't stop over here. What he did, he literally took two siblings, that is two plants from this F1 generation, and then fertilized them. So our next step would be crossing these two offsprings together and seeing what phenotypes they get. So I'm going to take my parent phenotype will change over here. I'm going to take two green F1 plants whose genotype would be this. So I'm going to predict when meiosis happens in these plants, what kind of pollen and embryo sac they will produce. If you notice, because they are heterozygous, they will produce two types of gametes. One will have dominant allele, one will have recessive allele. And then I'm going to draw the Punnett square for the F2 generation, and in the F2 generation I will see by crisscross I'm going to fill this box, and you will clearly see that there will be a capital G heterozygous, that is capital G small g, again a heterozygous here, and a recessive homozygous over here. So what you notice is genotype wise you are going to get capital G once or one part. You will get heterozygotes, that is capital G and small g, in two parts, and in one part you will get one small g. So that means 25% of the offsprings will be recessive, whereas the remaining 75% of the offsprings will be showing the dominant characteristic, because either they are homozygous dominant or they are heterozygous. So in the end of every monohybrid cross question, make sure you are writing the ratio, genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio, or if nothing is asked, at least you should write the phenotypic percentage or probabilities of the offsprings. So this is how you will approach monohybrid inheritance questions. So remember, we studied about test cross. Test cross is nothing but actually a type of monohybrid inheritance only, because in the test cross you're only studying the genotype of an unknown individual based on one characteristic or one trait. So when you want to know whether a particular plant is dominant or a person is dominant because of homozygous nature or heterozygous nature, for example, tongue roller. A person who can roll their tongue is actually a dominant characteristic. So a homozygous tongue roller will have this genotype, heterozygote will have this, but both the persons can actually roll their tongue. So how to know whether they are homozygous dominant or heterozygous dominant? How will you know? Like we had discussed, cross this individual's gamete with a recessive, double recessive parent. Then if all the offsprings are dominant, that means the parent whose unknown genotype was there means you didn't know, that parent is a homozygous parent. And if the unknown individual was heterozygous, then at least one of the offsprings in the next generation will have double recessive characteristics, means will be a non-tongue roller. You can now move to task 25.3 and solve two questions just like how we did step by step. You will solve the two questions of monohybrid cross that way. Thank you.